guys? Welcome back to GLiiDeR TV. In today's video, it's the last episode of The Mandalorian, so we are going to be giving you our discussion of what we thought about this episode of The Rescue, Chapter 16, and we shall get started. And, oh wait, sorry. Today we have Jose, Ruben, and Michael joining us today on this episode. So, now, let's begin with the episode. And, shoot, I forgot what happened in the episode. Because my brain is still processing.
Well, just start
everything.
off with your initial reaction. We'll try to run through the happenings of the episode, but I guess we can start off with just how do you feel right now?
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna leave that in there. I'm not gonna cut it. But okay. So what I'm feeling right now is mainly like I just feel kind of like my emotions were just taken out of me, and I just feel like speechless. Like I just feel so happy with what happened, because what we got in this episode is something that that I didn't think we would ever like receive in anything Star Wars. And this episode for me, it kind of like outbeat all the movies, even the sequels, duh. The Clone Wars and Rebels, and I don't know, this episode was just so different. I was not expecting any of that. Um, because Luke coming in, one, I did not expect that because I was expecting like Ezra or something. And then two, R2D2 came out. Three, Mando friggin' took off his helmet so that little Grogu can see his face before he leaves. And that made me just cry so bad. I don't know if y'all heard me when I muted my mic. I don't know if y'all heard me from Ruben's room, but it was bad, dude. Oh my god. I don't know if y'all noticed, but my eyes, y'all see it in the YouTube video when it goes up, but my eyes look like raccoon eyes because I've been, I can't talk. Okay. Let's see. Ruben, since you're on the screen right now, how do you feel about the episode? And then we can go next to Michael and Jose.
Shoot. Well, before we started recording this, I mentioned I think it's going to be one of the most memorable Star Wars just moments, I guess, for a long time. It's really impactful. It's the return of Luke. It's Grogu, finally, hopefully going to get, Jedi teachings, and of course the Mandalorian fulfilling his goal of, protecting Grogu and delivering him to his people, or, the Jedi. So man, it was a huge episode. I loved it.
I agree. Michael, what are your thoughts on the episode? How are you feeling right now?
I cried a lot. Just everything about it, just the lead up to it, and how it was executed, and I just loved it.
Yeah, dude, I feel that. Jose, what are your feelings right now?
Very much similar to everyone else. I think it's by far the most like well thought out episode I've seen, especially from like the Mandalorian season. This is like the best episode, and like it's pretty high up there with like the last season of Clone Wars. And
Yeah.
I'm still into Rebels, but man, this is top.
I mean,
Top
it,
one.
Mm-hmm.
For sure,
it's
top
like
two.
it's like one of
top
those
one
things.
right now. Because I know season 7 of Clone Wars was so good too, but this is literally it's like probably top one. Yeah, like, I don't want to like say anything else, but yeah, top one. But I'm really excited what they're gonna do for the future. I don't know. We can talk about it later, but just the whole Darksaber and what they did with that, I'm just like, whoa. I'm
Mm-hmm.
super excited. So we'll see. But by far, best episode.
Yeah. And Ruben, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, just kind of wanted to add to that. Like just in the future, like thinking back to Star Wars as a franchise, I feel like this is going to be one of those episodes, or just, uh, one of the episodes, or just, moments in Star Wars where you think back to as like, that was one of my favorite things about Star Wars. Like, before the Mandalorian, anytime I would think about Star Wars and my favorite, moments in the franchise, it would be like Episode 3, Anakin fighting Obi-Wan, or of course Luke finding out Darth Vader is his father. Those big, huge
Mhm.
moments. And this one had something on par with those moments just because we fell in love with Grogu over the past 2 seasons and his relationship with Mando, and then just finally seeing his story arc kind of just reach that payoff, especially with Luke. Oh my goodness,
Mm,
it's
mhm.
so memorable.
Mhm. Okay, so the one thing that I didn't expect the CGI, honestly, because there was rumors that the guy who played Bucky was going to be playing the younger Luke. And that's,
Yeah.
once we saw Luke coming in, I'm just like, "Oh shoot, we're going to see that guy from freaking Marvel or whatever." But no, it was the CGI of Luke, and that is what kind of like made me feel just filled with emotions of like, seeing somebody that you saw growing up when you were little in these movies and then coming back again in the younger form. So kind of like what they did with Leia in Rogue One. It was like one of those bittersweet moments that made you feel emotional. And then with R2 strolling out, that is what broke me. That broke me so hard.
The
like
legendary
like not to be dark,
R2.
not to be dark or anything, but I was crying like if I was at a funeral. That's how bad I was crying when I saw R2. Um just it was so cute. And when he was saying like, okay, it's time to go, and then I see his hand go on his helmet, I'm like, oh my god. And then he takes it off, and I'm just like, holy crap, he's gonna let Grogu see his face before he leaves. And that even made me cry. And then the composer Ludwig did a very great job on his music scores for this final episode. I the Dark Trooper scenes, the soundtrack sounded like there was like
Oh
some
man, yeah.
dubstep. I was like,
That was really
"What?"
cool.
Like that was
Yeah.
insane. Bringing dubstep into Star Wars, ooh, and it and it
It
had
fit the
some.
role so well. Like
Yes.
how menacing they look, and it's
Mm-mm-mm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, and when Mando when one of them just came out and the other one just stayed back in the room, I was like, okay, we're gonna see the full force. We're gonna see like what their pros are of not being able to be killed, you know. And there you go. Like he takes out his Beskar spear, and that's the only thing he can kill him with, just sticking that with the head or whatever. But yeah, that was amazing.
All those droids that were there really shows like how much the Jedi are on just a different level than everybody
Mhm.
else.
Oh my God, yes, I
Yeah.
was about to say that was
Just
like, dude, that
like,
one Dark Trooper was like taking care of Mando like it was nobody's business, and then you just see Luke coming here and just destroy the whole platoon like nothing. Like I was like, whoa, this just shows how by far the Jedi are just like on a totally different level. Like you said, I was like, whoa, dude, this guy
and
just came in here just
it
like, oh,
kind
let
of
me just warm up and whatnot. I was like, he was good.
it kind of reminded me of when in Rogue One, uh, Darth Vader came out of that doorway like that, and he
Mm,
was like in A New Hope. It was that
Yeah.
like that. It reminded me of that, but like now it's the light side doing it.
Yeah.
mm.
No, and did y'all see what he did? He used like that force grab and that force crush on that last Dark Trooper. I was just,
I
ooh,
Yeah.
that scene reminded me of Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, episode friggin' 8, I don't know, when he was coming through to like defeat all the clones with like Ahsoka or whatever, and also as well like what you said, Rogue One with Darth Vader coming in, because Darth Vader did the same thing. He freaking crushed them and threw them on the ceiling and stabbing other people.
Like they were nothing.
That was amazing.
You think
So
they could
I
have
have a
done that
question.
potentially? Because that was like really similar. Like now realizing what you guys are saying, it's really similar how like from the dark side we saw Vader just take care of them like it was nobody's business, and on this side you see Luke just take care of the dark troopers like it was nobody's business. You think it was kind of a nod at that, like specifically to the Vader scene at the end of Rogue One?
So
Yeah.
I don't think they would have let Luke do that if there were actually people in those suits.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, because he took him out pretty ruthlessly, like especially that last one. He just crushed it.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
That was
would have been pretty
amazing.
human.
Yeah. No, and it was interesting to me how everybody in the room was just like not wanting to open the door because, you know, they see all the dark troopers dying and they don't want to die, but
I was like, open the door.
yeah.
Like,
No, yeah, and Grogu, he's just like on the screen with his little tiny hand, just tapping the screen saying, "This is my person." And yeah, I just thought that was so cute. But honestly, I thought Bo-Katan died because she just like went off the screen after she got shot, but then she came up again. I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm glad she didn't die.
That would have been bad if they would have done it like that. To be
Yeah.
honest, but
They
okay, so
didn't really resolve the conflict between her and Mando this season finale. Now that he kind of has ownership of the blade,
I think that's the hanger.
Yeah, that's really the one cliffhanger we got.
well, really quickly, I got a question for you guys. Who do you guys think was gonna come in at the beginning? I know you said it was probably Ruby said it was either Ezra or that other
The Asian guy, yeah.
the Asian guy,
Mhm.
X-Wing. I really thought it was gonna be probably Ezra because of all like some of the rumors I had seen, and I was like, oh man, this would be really good. But
to see him.
yeah, it would have been good. I mean, we could still see him in the future because
Yeah,
they're just
maybe.
getting started. But man, I was just like after I saw the way that what do you call it on his right hand, the glove and
Yeah.
whatnot, I was like, oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's when I was like, oh, we got some
Yep.
Luke in here.
and then so going on that, I know I was looking on right now the Mandalorian Reddit, and then someone screenshot Mark Hamill. He put a tweet and he was like, have you seen anything good on TV lately? And that was done today. So like if you would have followed him, you know, it kind of would have been a good hint and whatnot. So you know,
Shoot.
Yeah.
I guess it's good or not that I'm not following him on Twitter. Maybe I should say that.
Yeah, I'm looking at his tweet right now.
And it was pretty early, so I was like, man, imagine that. That would have been so amazing if you would have seen that. It's like, but I don't know. I was kind of interested because that's why I was like on my computer looking at that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Someone also commented a video like father like son, and it's the scene of Darth Vader coming in to kill the rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, ugh, that was awesome. I wonder how Mark felt seeing that and seeing him in his younger form with computer, you know, some computer figurations, whatever, with that CGI or whatever. I wonder
I'm sure
what.
Sure it reminded him of like making the movies back then, and I'm sure it's emotional.
Yeah, especially with like Carrie Fisher.
He was given credit at the end of the credits,
I
so
saw that.
I'm not sure. Maybe he did the voice over. I couldn't really tell, but
I mean, it kind of sounded like him.
I think they processed his voice, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe he was there like in person and it just processed his face, but I don't know how much they actually did for CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a good job. I mean, I was like, well, that's looks like super young him. I was like, well, that looks nice.
Yeah, I feel like they did better with him on the CGI than Leia in Rogue One, but you know, of course, it's because you know Carrie Fisher wasn't here, so they had to get her. I think her daughter or something to do the CGI. But
I'm curious to know how much money that one scene cost them compared to like the rest of the season generating his face.
Man, regardless, I mean, they're still gonna be banging, especially with this episode. It's gonna get people hooked on, ready for next season. So it's like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they already made the money back with all these life-size Yoda dolls coming out. the $300 one, so I'm pretty sure that they already made their money back. Um, no, but okay, this is the scene that I forgot to mention. With the Dark Troopers. So when Mando finally killed that one Dark Trooper with the spear, and he, pressed that button where they all get sucked out. I was like, okay, so we're probably not gonna see them again until the end. They all start like you see the freaking things on the maps like they're not life forms or whatever, and then I'm just like, oh my god, like they're
Like
screwed.
20 minutes after getting ejected, they're like, oh yeah, we have jetpacks. We'll get back there.
Yeah. No, yeah, I thought that was just insane, just seeing them all come back and okay, the confidence level of Moff Gideon when he knew they were coming back to when Luke was like massacring all of them. He just shut up, and then he was like, I have no choice but to kill the kid, but he couldn't. But wow, yeah, that was awesome.
I really enjoyed the kind of like pendulum swing of emotion
Mhm.
From the point where the Dark Troopers are starting to like break down the door, and it's kind of like you get like that really dire feeling, and then all of a sudden the pendulum swings the other way when Luke arrives, and just like euphoric, just him taking everybody out.
Yeah. Oh
I
man.
know, Ruben, you were waiting for this, right, from the last episode because you didn't get to see them fight. I know you were saying you wish you would have seen them in action. I was like, oh, Ruben's
And I
enjoying
mean they didn't have as much screen time as maybe in like a feature film would have, but it, the few minutes that they showed off in the show, I mean, like whenever the Mando fights that one, it was pretty ruthless how many times that thing tried punching his head.
Mm.
Like imagine if he didn't have that helmet, he would have been squashed. Like yeah, it was pretty cool to see them fight. I was expecting them to have bigger guns or something. They just had like a regular blaster, but
Yeah.
cool.
Well, maybe in the future they're gonna have more. You never know. I hope so. They bring more
Mhm.
because I wanted a little bit more fighting. You can see in the beginning where Mando was getting his ass kicked, and I was like, whoa, dude. And then just because he had the Beskar spear, he was able to defeat the Dark Trooper, and I was like, man, imagine if he didn't have the spear, like what would have happened? Like he was literally getting his
Yeah.
He would have
butt
died.
kicked, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. It just shows how strong they are, and then it's like, I wish there would have been more fighting. It would have been nice if they would have started fighting in the end, and then they just all stop and turn around and start shooting the other way. That would have been nice too, to see more action. And then right before they're
Yeah.
gonna get like overrun, it would have been nice to see Luke come in and save him like that too. But it was just like I liked it.
Maybe
Hopefully
have the Mando like take on a couple of them with the dark saber, and then like sandwich them, Luke and Mando on both sides.
That I was actually thinking about that too. That maybe Mando should get through that door and like go through like the back and like start, shoving that spear up in their head and whatever. But that didn't happen. But my other question, what happened to that doctor? Because I know he helped them get to the ship and like kind of like coordinate where the rooms are, but we never got to see where he went afterwards.
He never got off that Imperial ship, did he?
Yeah, no, I don't think he ever got off. Whether they kept him on there like tied up or like they left him back somewhere, but no, he must have been on a ship because they never got off anywhere. They just went.
Only the four of them got off.
Just chilling.
Hmm.
Then
So
Boba Fett just takes off and never comes back.
no, dude, yeah, like it was so funny because he just destroyed those two TIE fighters. He's like, see ya, pew. Oh man, that Boba. No, so that just makes me curious how next season will be because first we have Mando who has a dark saber and I know Bo-Katan wants that really bad. So we're probably going to see a big feud going on like friendly and foe with them too, maybe. And then maybe we could see Ahsoka coming again because maybe Moff will suddenly escape or try to go for the child again or something. Who knows, like what they're planning. But that actor, he did say that season 1 and 2 is like the foundation, and season 3, and he basically kind of said there's a season 4. He basically said that these 2 seasons will be the foundation of what's going to happen in the next season. So he's basically saying season 3 is going to be a lot better.
I hope we get to see more of the like Mandalorian clans.
Yeah.
You get to explore that
Yeah.
more, especially what they were hinting at with the dark saber, and then what do you call it? Them trying to get back their world. So I was like, man, hopefully we can see a lot more into that. But I really hope they do justice to the Mandalorians like they did to the clones in the Clone War series, just like that. I was like, I hope they do the same because that would be like really good. And then they
Yeah.
can add in a couple of spin-offs, like introducing again Ahsoka and then probably someone else. I don't know, we'll see.
Mhm.
But that got me really excited at the end right there when they were like it was undecided and like left to kind of like on a cliffhanger of what's gonna happen with the dark saber. So I was like, oh man, next season's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I was like, that's gonna be good.
That
So do you guys think this is the last we'll see of Grogu and Luke within the Mandalorian show? You think this maybe if they build upon that story, it'll be like a different series?
uh I feel like maybe we could possibly see him in the Ahsoka series, because this her series is going to be taking place during the Mandalorian timeline.
Hmm.
So we could see
Well,
Well,
that.
did
if
hear Mando say that he was gonna go back see to Grogu. He's like, I promise. So maybe in the future they have that. They left that open ended just in case they want
Yeah.
to like squeeze it in somehow
Mhm.
and possibly explore that a little bit. But I don't know. Like I said, they did a good job. I'm sorry, Mike, but they did a good job in leaving things open ended for next season to see what was gonna do next and like what they can do with the story. But
yeah, it's hard to imagine for me not seeing Baby Yoda in the Mandalorian. So, and since like Ruby said that seasons 1 and 2 is going to be like the foundation, um, maybe he'll return. I don't know. I hope so.
I hope he does, because watch him like freaking massacre everyone too, like Luke. Shoot.
Unless he doesn't come back in season 3 and they're saving him for season 4 for something big.
Yeah.
Because Moff Gideon did say that he already has the blood that he needs,
Yeah, that has to
right?
play out, right?
Yeah. I I just
Who
wonder
knows
how
how?
this is gonna play out.
So on the topic of Grogu's blood, if they still have custody of the clone engineer, I mean, I'm sure he's gonna try to get that information out of him next season, as far as like what they're using the blood for, or if like maybe they'll get a hint at something evil and he'll try to stop it or something.
you think they're
Mm.
gonna do they're gonna hint at the experimentation that Palpatine was doing?
Um,
Perhaps.
I feel like they probably would, because since we got that little snippet of the lab at that one Empire facility, so maybe next season we could, or the season after that.
It feels like it would be the same as like going back to Clone Wars in last season when Ahsoka was like getting all these like visions and like hearing all these things,
Mhm.
and we knew what was happening because
Mhm.
we had seen episode 3. I feel like this would be kind of the same. You know, we know what happened in the new movies, and so like they can kind of introduce the Emperor in terms of his plan and what he's trying to do, and they kind of figure out what's going on. But maybe it could be too little, too late. I don't know, but hopefully they can do something like that. Would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
I
cool.
feel I feel like it could I feel like it probably gonna turn into like Snoke's origin story, or like the beginnings of that project or whatever he spawned from. Which in a way I don't know, we spoke about this last week, Ruby, that if it does turn into like a Snoke thing, for me it'll be a little disappointing just because of we know how where his story ends, and
He dies.
yeah. I mean, but maybe if they build upon him, like he'll be more respectable as a character, and
Hmm.
like watching the sequel trilogy again would kind of add more weight to him. But who knows?
I mean, if they do end up like like tying in something into Snoke back or whatever, I just hope it shows why he's seen as like the big bad freaking dude in the universe or the galaxy. So if they do that, shoot, I want to see like his big mean sinister side, because if they don't show any of that, if they do tie into that Snoke stuff, then that's just lame. That's just my thoughts.
Trying to think. I feel like we could see Snoke, and it could be kind of like I'm forgetting his name. That one general that comes out in
Hux?
Clone Wars, and also, huh? Is it
Oh.
Hux? The old dude that tries to incriminate Ahsoka in
Mhm.
Clone Wars,
Yep.
and then we
Oh,
see him again
Tarkin.
in Rebels.
Mhm.
Tarkin, yes, there you go. And we could be something like that where we see part of Snoke in here and maybe in another series, because they have a lot of series to work with. So maybe we could
Yeah.
see kind of like the same parallel where he goes from one episode to another, and like we see him briefly in other shows as well. I don't know. I mean, depends what they got going on, but it kind of like Ruben said, it would kind of ruin the series because this is like the Mandalorian is like
It's
I feel
its
like
own thing.
yeah, it should be
Yeah,
its own, and
and
we'll
like
see
you said
snippets of
earlier,
the background people like that. Sorry, and then probably those evil characters that are like the super big bad guys. We'll see snippets of them in here and maybe in other episodes too, and like kind of like tie into episodes like that across the series. But
mm,
hopefully, it's not just like all Snoke for the rest of the seasons. Hopefully, like maybe half
Yeah.
a season we get to see him, like we've been saying. But I'm
right?
sorry, what were you saying, Ruben?
So, um, I lost my train of thought, but it's okay. It wasn't like a important thing or anything. But one thing I did want to bring up is that with the Mandalorian being as big as it is right now, with just popularity in general, I feel like they're doing a really good job of like threading in all these different characters from
Mhm.
the extended lore, like Ahsoka, like Bo-Katan, um, just so many possibilities to branch out from, which now explains all the freaking shows that they just announced, like Ahsoka and
The High
uh,
Republic.
yeah, and now the Boba Fett thing that
Yeah.
showed at the end, like there's so many things they can branch out from this show, and they haven't said anything about a Luke episode or a Luke series, because they were probably trying to keep it a secret for this episode. But dude, it would be so awesome if we got to see um, like Luke's dojo essentially that Kylo Ren will eventually destroy. Like see a series about that. That'd be so
Oh,
cool.
oh, frick. And the
The
Knights of
Knights of Ren.
Ren.
Hello.
Ah. Yes, Jose. You know my language.
Yes, that would be so cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. Oh man,
Hmm.
I was gonna say something too. I'm trying to think.
So,
So Disney,
Well, before I forget, was that at the end the book, um, that show that they said at the thing at the end of
Book
this
of Boba.
season?
the Book
Yeah,
of
the
Bob,
book of
yeah.
Boba. Was that supposed to be its own like series? Is that them announcing a new series, or was that them like just saying he will return next season? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a
Uh,
series or if it's a legit book. I'm
I
not sure.
I
Because
feel like it would be a book because I know that there's a lot of like Star Wars comics, and like different lores that are in the comics. So I feel like it would probably something like that.
oh, so them starting to like work up their literature section, like books, comics, and all that stuff, making
Yeah.
it canon now. That wouldn't make sense.
Hmm. No, but so, 'cause you know how there is some TV shows that they have their own thing, but sometimes the characters they like mend. So kind of like Daredevil with like friggin' Punisher or whatever, like how characters from those shows they like come together. So I feel like Mandalorian, the High Republic, and the Ahsoka series will be the same thing, where they will all just like mend together, but they'll have their own stuff, you know. but
Mhm.
every so often we'll probably see those characters from those three shows because one, Cara Dune, she's gonna be with the High Republic, so we're gonna
The
see a
New
bunch of stuff.
Republic.
Yeah, sorry, the New Republic. So we're gonna see like her side and what she's gonna be dealing with, and then also she's gonna have that clone dude or whatever, and then also Moff Gideon. She's gonna have him.
Mm.
So I feel like we're gonna see some mending shows coming in the future.
Mm. I don't know. I just hope we get more more content because what they're doing by far is like really good, and if they keep that up with all these other series, man, like I said, I'm just gonna love it. So
I just hope that the workload that they're taking on with you know double digit series, that they can stay at the quality of this, because I mean you can only, like, Jon Favreau can only produce so many of these. Like, all of his focus can't be everywhere, right? Like,
Yeah.
mm,
him and Dave Filoni were able to focus on this show so, religiously, just because it's the only thing they have to work on right now. But now with so many shows coming out, hopefully they space them out in a way where Dave Filoni can serve as an advisor, for all of these shows.
Hmm.
But we'll
and
see.
it would make sense, right? Because then if they space them out, that means they're gonna keep their viewers. Disney's gonna keep their retention high.
Right.
Yeah.
No, because you're gonna have
Mhm.
Mandalorian in the season, and then like right after that is gonna be Ahsoka, and then after that is gonna be like the new season of Bad Batch, and then
The
you know
Obi-Wan Kenobi
like the whole
series.
the whole Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So it's like it would make sense if they space it out. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll be able to handle it if they do that. And it would make sense from like a financial standpoint, keeping people on the platform.
Mhm.
So
Shoot.
hopefully,
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Re-
Imagine. Sorry. Go on, Mike.
I was gonna say realistically, they might not space it out and just put well, like they like throughout the year they could have like the shows going on, like this couple months is gonna be this show, this couple months is gonna be this show, because they
Mhm.
want to fill in those gaps to get people to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Right.
So that's
yeah,
my guess.
yeah, exactly. That's
True.
what I was saying, right? Was I not saying that? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
would like space them out. So like after we finish like the new series of The Mandalorian next year, right?
Mhm.
In December, and New Year's like the new season of Obi-Wan Kenobi would come out, and after that season is over, you would see Ahsoka and whatnot. So like you were saying, to keep people on there throughout the year. So,
Yeah.
but
It'll be
another
hard
thing is like I'm
to
really
finish that.
glad they're doing this with like modern like graphical technology and whatnot because
Mhm.
man, it looks so good. Everything looks so good. Like the Dark Troopers like look so badass. I was like,
Yeah.
man, that was really cool.
Um, Dude,
Like
when the Dark Trooper, when he put his hands through the door and he just slides it slowly and his head is coming in and you see those red eyes, and when the music is coming like all dubstep, that scene was just awesome. Like such a menacing scene with that Dark Trooper. It was
they
it was
did,
so cool.
yeah, they did a good job with the music selection there. I was like,
Yeah.
man, they were able to fit in dubstep right there perfectly. I was like,
Mhm.
good. Anyway,
Yeah, and the composer, he finished the finale music score, I think just like a couple of months ago. Or like by probably like in the end of summer around there, like August or something, because I remember he posted a picture on Instagram that he finished the song or whatever. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Let me see. Oh no, sorry. September 19th. That is when he finished the finale music score. I just saw it on the Instagram. Yeah.
Very recent.
Yeah,
Well,
very
kudos
recent.
to him. I mean, for me, it was the most memorable soundtrack of
Mhm.
the whole series.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
like
and that
even the basic little Mandalorian like
Yeah.
tune with that horn or whatever, the little,
and
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
also how they gave Boba his own like miniature theme song. I was like, man, that's a really good song too. I like it a lot. His
Yeah.
like little theme song and whatnot. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's they did a good job giving every like single person and persona their own like music and whatnot. So
Mhm.
good.
And I also liked how Bo didn't like how Boba was coming in because she was like, I've heard many of you or something like that, and I was like, ooh,
Oh, yeah.
she doesn't like the clones. So
Oh yeah, I was like, well, damn.
yeah, I thought
Oh, that was good. That
that
was a
was a
good
good
nod
scene.
to the. Yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah. Is there
So
any other scenes that stood out to y'all, or what was like another scene that just
I wanted to go back to the Luke scene. Um, so they decided to go with a CGI Luke, right? I mean, he looked good, a little uncanny, of course, but
mm,
I think that was probably the best decision if they were going to bring back Luke to, use that technology to kind of put him in there, as we remember him, as he would be in the timeline. So I think for this episode, it was probably the best choice. Now, if they decide to make a new series with Luke and Grogu and him, building up his dojo, then it kind of raises the question, like, because they can't do that for an entire show. Like, they can't generate his face for an entire thing. So at that point, would they hire a look-alike actor,
Probably.
and kind of just hope everybody's okay with it? Or would probably the next best thing be for it to be an animated series like Rebels or Clone Wars, so
Mm.
that, it's a little less uncanny to see somebody else in his shoes.
that's
Mm.
tough.
It is tough.
I don't know. Uh, so, cause I mean, okay. So for me, I feel like I would want to see a live action. Um, and I know without the CGI, I probably like the most look-alike person that's close to it is the guy who played Bucky in Marvel. Because there were
Yeah.
so many pictures that I saw of him as Luke Skywalker. I'm just like, wow, he actually looks like him, but just with a beard. Uh, so so yeah, I feel like he would, if he were to play Luke, I would be totally fine with that because he looks kind of like him, like how he was when he was younger.
Mm.
So
I don't know. That is a good, interesting question. It would be nice if they did like an anime series, to get more animated series out there. But
mm,
mm, I mean,
Then
like,
I feel like with an animated series, unfortunately, you alienate a little bit, like a good chunk of like the casual people,
mhm.
like my parents, for example. I don't think
hmm
they'd be interested in watching an animated film or an animated series.
yeah. Because there's people out there who think it's a kid show, but it ain't.
Yeah, it immediately gets tagged with that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But
Clone Wars is pretty complex. Politics, war.
Yeah. I
yeah,
want more, but I know I shouldn't. I mean, if my mom liked Clone Wars, everybody should like Clone Wars.
yeah. Well, like the final season or two of the Clone Wars, it was very focused,
Yeah.
Mm.
um, very impactful. And yeah, our mom liked that because it was focused, and it dealt with characters that she already knew, aside
Hmm.
from Ahsoka, which she got to know and now she
Mhm.
loves. Um, so yeah, maybe if they did do a show with Luke and Grogu, two characters that everybody knows and loves, animated, I mean, maybe that'll be enough to draw people in, even though it's an animation. But
It depends, right? The style of animation, right? Because there's some that look a more cartoonish than others. Others look a little bit more realistic, and
Mhm.
so it just depends. But like Ruby said, I wouldn't mind if the person who played Bucky
Yeah.
would play him as Luke.
yeah,
I wouldn't mind it because I had seen some pictures too, and I was like, well, they do look pretty much look alike.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, because when I first saw the picture, I actually thought it was Mark Hamill, but just like a younger version, and they just did a bunch of makeup, but nope.
And that would be a good series because I know, like, a lot of people didn't really like Luke in the new movies because of what happened. So
Yeah.
that would probably do Luke justice by giving him his own show like that.
Mhm.
So maybe they could do that,
yeah.
redeem themselves like
Bringing
that.
it would help bring in a lot more context to the conflict that he had with Kylo, as opposed to just those couple of scenes that we saw in like flashbacks, where he was kind of
Yeah.
contemplating killing him or whatever. If we got to see a lot more of what really went into his mentality, or like kind of shaping that mentality, the conflict
Mhm.
between him and Kylo, that'd be really cool.
Shoot,
So,
yeah.
And for that though, you would need more background with Snoke, because you know how they were talking about it in the
yeah,
movies, how lost
exactly.
him to Snoke, so it would have to introduce Snoke more. Man, I don't know. Maybe we're
Yeah,
predicting the
that
future.
would be
And
cool.
we're realizing what they're doing. People at Disney are like, oh man, they're onto us. What are they doing?
I mean, yeah, that would be awesome if they sneak in Snoke through these series, and they're building up to something like that. That would be awesome. I'm all for that.
I would too. That would help a lot in terms of context, like you said, and hopefully add more depth to like the new movies that came out. So I
Yeah.
don't know. We should see.
Are they gonna come out with any movies? Because it's all been TV shows, right, that are coming up.
Yeah, so they did announce one. It's gonna be called Rogue Squadron, and it's gonna come out next year at Christmas time.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I heard it, but I didn't know it was a movie.
yeah.
I heard the guy who directed The Last Jedi is gonna. They already hired him to make a Star Wars movie series.
Movie or movie series, you mean? Or so
A
like series?
trilogy.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
A trilogy. I'm just like,
That's gonna
frick.
be controversial for a lot of people. I know at work there's a couple of pretty hardcore Star Wars fans, and like this guy freaking hates Rian Johnson after what he did with that movie. Like, oh man. And I mean, Rian Johnson's he's a good director, he's a good writer, but after like personally, after watching the Clone Wars and getting into Rebels and just seeing how fleshed out the lore is, how good of a direction and vision that Dave Filoni has. Of course, he learned everything from George Lucas. Like that vision is something that I feel just these other directors like Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams, they didn't have that. They came in as like casual fans that were trying to make the franchise a lot of money, so they developed these movies that kind of catered to that generic Star Wars audience. They didn't really dig into like the lore. They didn't really capture what the Clone Wars series and Rebels capture. It's a whole other tier that you have to, or like layers you have to kind of add on to the Star Wars like I guess theme. You can't just make a movie that's themed after Star Wars. Like they have to have like all the politics, all of the like there's just so much to it that the current leadership, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, that they understand, and that maybe others just don't.
I get you.
Especially since Dave Filoni has been basically asking George Lucas for advice on like what he should do to make things make more sense in the Star Wars universe that he was making in the Clone Wars, Rebels, and also the Mandalorian. So yeah, I mean like because I did hear that for the Rise of Skywalker that George Lucas did mention something, but then Kathleen Kennedy was like, "No, we're not gonna do that, or whatever," and they just didn't do that freaking story, which could have made sense, and now they just made that whole sequel with it without making any sense because we don't even know who Rey is.
Feedback.
Yeah, I heard that. Was that a saber?
I don't know what
I
that
don't know
was.
what that was.
I think that was you when you were getting a little ragey.
Sorry. You know, I had to bring my dark side.
That's fine.
I'm just kidding. But okay, since we kind of like, you know, spit out all of our thoughts on this episode, what
We
would
went on a
be
huge tangent.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was
What
about to say, you want to circle back around or something?
Sorry. So right now we're just gonna do our final verdicts of this episode. And what would you give this episode?
Oh my god, it's so easy.
I mean,
I know.
10.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yep, 10. 10 out of 10.
I don't have 11 fingers.
Shoot, I have toes, so that's like 20. 20 out of 10. I was trying to put my toes in the
Okay, well,
camera.
for me, easily a 10. If there was something I had to criticize about this show, um, it would probably be just, again, the same thing for me is just the budget constraints kind of tend to rear their head in some of the scenes. Um, for me, it was, I don't know, it just, some of the action scenes just don't have that umph or like cinematic like
Like Rogue
appeal, I
One,
guess you can call
where
it.
like mhm.
Yep.
But like just watching, like if you compare some of the action scenes in The Force Awakens, everything just has so much like power to it, like all the fighting, all
Mhm.
the like the clashing of the sabers and even just the shooting and the sound and everything. Of course, those movies have like insane production value for an hour and a half or 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Um,
You're
yeah.
making me think of the possibilities in Kenobi.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
their budget is just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger as these shows get more popular. So that's what I'm excited for.
Mhm.
Budget and time. I mean, they have to, of course, give the creators enough time to make a quality, like, just everything, action scenes, music, everything.
Mike, I don't know. You want to go with your verdict?
Yeah, 10.
Easy.
Said and done.
So,
Right,
so
Ori?
I want to say I would also give it 10 out of 10. That's a no-brainer. And there was anything like nitpicky I wanted to do, say about it was hopefully they can give out more longer, consistent shows. So instead of it going up and down, with all the memes where, you know, it's like, oh, we're supposed to go up, R2, we're going down. So hopefully they put
Yeah.
out more like hour-long episodes and whatnot, and maybe like I said, I don't know, maybe it's a little far-fetched, but like I said, maybe they release 2 episodes a week, maybe a shorter one, shorter 30-minute during a week, and then like on Friday they release like the full hour one. That
Mm.
would be really good, you know.
Yeah.
But at least give us longer episodes that are more consistent, so an hour each for each episode. That would be really good.
Yeah.
And like Ruben said, as their budget goes up, hopefully they can invest more into their cinematics and all this stuff. The sound is pretty good. Um,
The sound was good in this episode. I
yeah,
Mhm.
the sound
definitely
was
noticed
good.
that. As opposed to like a couple episodes ago, I think it was the Boba Fett where Boba Fett makes his debut. For
Mhm.
whatever reason, that episode just didn't have as good sound quality.
Could have been,
Hmm.
yeah, it's true. So yeah, just the sound was good. So hopefully, just better cinematics and more runtime is all I'm looking forward to. And
Yeah.
just keep it up. Hopefully, they don't go off on a tangent like we did in this episode. But they don't go off on a tangent. But I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing. I mean, they clearly know what they're doing. They're making millions. But yeah, we'll see.
They're
That's all
making
about
people
it.
cry.
And
Like
one
me.
one thing I want to like commend this show for, and we talked about it last week again to Ruby, was that there was really no filler. Everything was just like back to back. Like they get assigned a task, or like he takes on a task. So the next episode he's already like on it. Like
Mm.
after the Ahsoka one, boom, they're at the Seeing Stone. After the Seeing Stone, boom, he's like uh, going to figure out how to rescue this kid, and then immediately the rescue happens. So it's like there's no sidetracking going on really, which is just like awesome. And after watching like the Clone Wars and stuff, where there are several episodes that are kind of just like side stories, which are important, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. That way you learn the backstories of certain characters. But in this case, where it's a bunch of characters that we already know for the most part,
Mm.
it's nice that they're just like focused, boom, like mission.
Yeah. That's what I like about this episode, because in the beginning they're already trying to get that doctor from that one ship that they're gonna board, and ooh, okay, now that brings back a memory. Cara Dune, you can tell her emotions when that guy was talking to her about like I was on the Death Star when we watched your planet get destroyed, millions of people died or whatever. I loved how she just shot him in the face. That was good.
Kind of like the last episode, right? You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
when he shot the
Yeah.
officer. That was really strong because they were just like, you know, teasing them like this is what we did and we didn't feel anything and whatnot. And then, it just shows how much they're really pissed at the Empire and whatnot for them to do all that stuff. So yeah, that was a really strong moment. Those two moments in this episode and the last one were really good when he just shot the officer. I was like, well,
Yeah,
that was good.
those were great moments, and I hope that this next season, the Ahsoka series, the New Republic series, I hope it's gonna build up the Rebels platoon to what we saw in Rise of Skywalker, where there was millions of people that came from, the galaxy to like come help. I hope we get to see more of that, how people are going to be teaming up together, stuff like that. You know.
And I wonder if Leia is going to be a focal point because I mean she's kind of the leader of the New Republic, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it goes back to like that filler, right? Because Luke was there helping out, making the preparations with Jedi's and whatnot. And then after
Right.
all that happened, Leia kind of took over because Luke left. So
Leia and
Yeah.
Han. Leia
Yeah.
and Han took over. They had Kylo, and then
but then
eventually Han and Leia split up
yeah,
because of the whole Kylo going bad. But
That's interesting. But yeah.
What's any final thoughts? I mean, I'm good. I
Yeah,
already said.
I mean, I feel like I said everything I had to say about this episode.
amazing.
It was
Mandalorian is amazing.
heart-stopping. It was amazing. It was fantastic. It was exquisite. It was mind-blowing. It made me happy. It cured my sadness. It made everybody else happy. It made everybody else happy in the world because this episode just brought it all, brought the whole package, and my favorite episode by far of anything Star Wars. That's it. That's the
Yeah.
T.
I'm probably gonna watch it again right now.
Mhm. Mm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully they keep it up. I know like these past few episodes, last thought, I promise. When they kept one-upping themselves, with Ahsoka, introducing Ahsoka, and then Boba, and then now Luke is like, wow, they really just went over and over and over. So hopefully they just keep that up, and that's about it.
Yeah. Anybody else have final thoughts before the video ends?
Good.
No?
Pretty much it.
Nope.
Alright, cool. Well, that concludes the video. So, shoot, I don't even know if anybody stayed throughout this whole video, but if people stayed throughout this whole video listening to this video while driving, you're a trooper. Just think of it as a podcast video. So, thank you guys for watching if you made it this far. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ruben, for being part of this video. Because it's fun having a group of people talk about something cool like this. But, alright. So,
Definitely.
thank you guys, and thank you to everyone watching. And I will see you guys next time on the next episode. So, deuces.
Bye.
Bye.
Y'all's bye. Sounds like a bye. Okay.